Vegas tips and tricks, Vegas tips and tricks, Vegas tips and tricks podcast. Now it's your Vegas tips and tricks, Vegas tips and tricks, Vegas tips and tricks podcast.
Hey everybody, just like the music said, it's time for another Vegas Tips and Tricks podcast. I hope everybody enjoyed that extended version of the Vegas Tips and Tricks podcast song. That goes out to one of my best subscribers, Jim's, who always asks for that song. So there it is, back with a beautiful image of Las Vegas as well. This is my special 300 subscriber podcast. Thank you so much to all the people that have gotten us to 300 subscribers. I've also had nearly 4,000 hours of view time on the YouTube channel so far this year. So hoping to push on to that 1,000 mark so I can become incredibly wealthy making YouTube videos. Well, probably not incredibly wealthy, but if millions of people are willing to subscribe to a channel where you just watch people eat fast food, and there are channels like that, because I watch them, okay? I'd be able to find a few thousand of you special people who can subscribe to Vegas Tips and Tricks, okay? I have been trying to upgrade the videos a little bit. Obviously got the camcorder going on here today, which was really handy in spots on the Las Vegas trip. Some places, really the camera on the phone works better, but certainly any kind of extended videos or outdoor videos, much better to use the camcorder. But have no fears, this will never become one of those slickly produced YouTube channels that's almost indistinguishable from bad television. And I enjoy some of those channels. I'm not picking on anybody, but some of them are very corporate, and this will never be a corporate channel, okay? So anyway, I kind of alluded to my trip last month. It's been almost a month since I got back now. I've been promising this podcast, but I'm lazy. So had a good time as always. Was out there for 5 days. Spent 4 nights at the Cromwell, which I never stayed at and had not played at for a lot, but was able to get some free nights there. Really nice little hotel. You've seen the room video. If you haven't, you should go down there and see the room video. It's over here somewhere. But really nice room. Very convenient. So easy to get from your room out to the street. And spent a lot of time next door at the Flamingo. Spent a lot of time down at the Link in Harrah's. Really enjoyed that area of Las Vegas that I suppose a lot of people would kind of think of as sort of middle class or working class. Well, maybe that's what I am. So in fact, probably the next trip I'm thinking about staying at the Flamingo. My very first trip to Las Vegas, I stayed there. And this next trip will be my 40th trip, so I thought we'd maybe return to the scene of the crime. And again, if you watch the vlogs, which also are over there somewhere, which you should watch, I spent one night downtown at the El Cortez, and I really enjoyed that. I loved the Designer Suite. If you get a chance to check one of those out, it's a really cool little room. But I also enjoyed the location of the El Cortez. You're just a couple of blocks away from the middle of Fremont Street, but it's not quite as hectic. So I'm hoping maybe if they'll kick me a room offer here or there, at least a discounted room or something, because on my next trip I think I'm going to try to spend at least 2 or even 3 nights downtown. I kind of wandered around, which we're kind of in the middle of those videos right now. Saw a lot of places that I'd like to check out. Didn't have time to do it in one day. So there's a lot going on downtown. So enjoyed that very, very much. So anyway, like I said, next trip's probably going to be in September. So until then, you're going to have to make do with videos of me and the videos that I made. And there's quite a few more on the previous trip this past month. The gambling was not as bad on this trip as it was on the trip in January. I suppose the gambling has not been great because I've been spending a lot of time on the Strip and even downtown, where the payout percentages aren't as good as they are off Strip. Used to stay at the Orleans all the time, out at the Gold Coast. It always seems like I had a little bit better luck out there, and I probably did. But trying some new places. So that'll be probably, like I said, next trip probably sometime in September around my birthday, early part of the month. So we'll keep you informed on that going forward. A few Las Vegas news items to discuss briefly before I get into my rant of the day. Yeah, there's a rant, kind of. Kind of a sad, bittersweet moment this past week. The Vegas Golden Knights season ended. Just a couple of wins away from the Stanley Cup in their very first year. You know, if you haven't been to Las Vegas in the last 6 to 9 months, I don't think you can really kind of pick up on the vibe, the connection between that team and that city. With the franchise starting play so, you know, right after the tragic events last October, and it just seemed like the success that that team had really kind of brought the community together and gave them something to, you know, be excited about in the midst of, you know, a very difficult time. It's still a difficult time for a lot of people that lived through that tragedy, and we kind of push that to the side and forget about it. But the Knights were a great story and an unbelievable story. There's nothing like it in the history of professional sports in America for an expansion team to do what they did and to get so close to winning it all. So again, a little bit sad, but I think it's important to kind of celebrate what that team accomplished, not just on the rink, but really in that community. So some good news, some interesting news this week also out of the Wynn Hotel and Casino. They're no longer going to charge for parking if you're a hotel guest or if you spend $50 or more, I don't know, in the casino, in a restaurant. I'm not sure how they judge that. But if this is a turn in the direction of reversing some of these parking charges, which rarely affect me because I don't normally drive, I don't normally rent a car, but I know have affected a lot of people and annoyed a lot of people, just nickel and diming people to death with all these fees. So whether this is more related to the fact that Wynn has gotten kind of a bad name due to some of the activities of its founder over the past 6 months or so, or whether this may be a turn away from some of those fees. I don't know. We'll hope that it's a turn away from some of those fees. And in another sad note that's only vaguely related to Las Vegas, we lost a celebrity chef and journalist and kind of gadfly, Anthony Bourdain, who took his own life a couple of days ago. It's always mystifying and terrible when you see someone that you admired and whose work you enjoyed. You just wonder, you know, what goes on in these people's minds. The only connection to Vegas is he did do 1 or 2 of his shows in Las Vegas, and while you know, he was not entirely complimentary. He was not entirely complimentary of anyone or anything, but I thought his program on Las Vegas was very much in the spirit of the city. And I always kind of felt like Anthony Bourdain was a guy you could hang out with and have a beer. And so we're going to miss him. And if you haven't seen his Vegas show, I think it was on his No Reservations program on the Travel Channel. You can hunt it up. I'm sure it's on YouTube. So, but anyway, so for my rant for the day, and I don't want it to come off entirely as a rant, but a lot of you have, I hope, have enjoyed some of the videos that I've made here on the channel. And there's a lot of other folks out there making videos in and around Las Vegas, whether it's showing you what's going on at the various restaurants or buffets, showing you some live slot play, showing you around the rooms, showing you around the casino. But I think probably every one of us who've done this extensively have run into the problem of being stopped during the filming. Had it happen a couple of times on this past trip, and on the previous trip I had it happen once. let me be real clear on something. First of all, I'm a big believer in private property and the rights of people that own a piece of property to make a decision on what goes on that property, including what kind of filming. So I certainly do not hold it against any casino if they do not want people either taking pictures or taking video inside of their establishment. That's their business. I would only say a couple of things about that. And I guess I'm speaking to the casino managers, thousands of whom watch this, I'm sure. But first off, it's not very realistic to believe people are not going to take pictures and take video inside your casinos nowadays. 4 out of 5, maybe 9 out of 10 people that walk into a casino have a phone, camera, and video recorder right in their pockets. And we live in a world now where everything is on tape. We expect almost, if there's anything that happens, we expect that there's video of it because we have a nation of people who are essentially reporting on what's going on around them all the time. You can debate on whether that's a good or a bad thing. I think it's a mixed bag, honestly. But it's not very realistic to believe that you're going to stop that filming. But if you really are committed to that idea, I think it's very important going forward to make that policy very clear. I have looked, and perhaps I missed it, for any signage when I enter a casino that makes explicit their policy on taking photographs or taking video. And to me, there ought to be large, or at least very visible, placards located near every entrance that spell out that policy in detail, because right now I think it's being applied just haphazardly. And I think part of that's because, obviously, point number one, you can't really stop it. I'm not going to name the casinos where I was stopped from filming. I thought about it, but you know, I think part of that was just dumb luck. It could have been any casino. There are certain casinos that I avoided filming inside of because I had heard horror stories or I had heard that people had been stopped filming there. But I think it's just dumb luck or bad luck if you're stopped. If a security person just happens to see you, and if they feel like they're sort of flexing their muscle, if you will, they might stop you. But on the other hand, you might walk through and film the whole casino floor and they might not say a thing. But again, I think it's important to be A, to be realistic, and B, if you're going to have a policy, make it very clear. Make it very distinct. Make sure everybody who walks in that building knows what it is. I don't think anybody goes to Las Vegas trying to do something to make the casinos angry or to try to break the rules necessarily. We just want to know what they are, and I don't think that's been made clear at all, whether it's for people doing just little videos around the casino like I do, and I don't film the casino floor. My point when I make a video is to show you the restaurants, the clubs, the bars that are normally around the perimeter of the casino. It's really free advertising for them. I'm not trying to focus in on other patrons gambling or even showing the casino floor, because that's pretty much the same wherever you go. So, but yeah, and it can be handled better. The funniest one, which is I love to say the casino, but I'm not trying to get in pick a fight with these people, so I'm not going to do it. I was approached at one hotel where I had been filming myself playing some slot machines. And a security guard tapped me on the back, and he had 2 backups with him. Like, he was really frightened of this fairly sedentary middle-aged man was going to be a great security risk to him. And he informed me that filming myself playing a slot machine in a video was against the law. And I wanted to refer him to the hundreds and almost thousands of slot channels that do nothing but that, but I didn't. And in this instance, I was forced, not quite at gunpoint, to delete the videos of myself playing the slots because, again, that's against the law, apparently, though that's obviously not against the law. So I thought that one was kind of amusing. The other 2 were handled a lot better, but again, it's kind of arbitrary. In one case, I was stopped from filming when I walked in the door. There was a security person who said, "You can't film in the casino." I was like, "Okay, sorry, no problem." So I went over and I was just going to film inside the food court, and the guy came back. I was like, I'm just filming the food court. I can't do that. So again, so arbitrary. And again, if you ever film in a casino, you're always running that risk, and you should know what the rules are so you can follow them. But anyway, it's always kind of funny when you look back on it. But there you go. That's my rant for the day, and a rant I think probably a lot of YouTube channels can share. So that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. The views on the channel have gone up, obviously, as the subscribers have gone up. And so I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy the continuing series of videos that we're doing downtown. We'll resume those on Wednesday. As you may or may not know, we always upload a video on Saturdays and Wednesday here on the YouTube channel. If you follow us on Twitter, we do a tweet every day, usually retweeting something about Las Vegas news. The big story of the day, at least as I see it. Our Instagram page, we update usually a couple of times a week, usually like Thursdays and Sundays. So if you want to follow us on there, you can join our Facebook group if you like. You can also follow our blog where we do a Vegas tip every day. That's the origin of Vegas tips and tricks, okay? And all that information is down below here if you want to follow us on any of those other sites. But again, thanks so much for taking us all the way to 300 subscribers. Thanks so much for watching this video. Have a great